All right, hey guys, this is going to be the video for review number 9. We're going over graphing two variable inequalities. So the first one we're going to do, we are going to graph the system of inequalities. Okay, so looking at number 1, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now these are all going to be special cases whenever I just have y and a number, y equals some number, or in this case, y is less than or equal to some number. This is a Hoy situation. All right, so it's going to be a horizontal line. Horizontal, if I can spell. Horizontal at y equals 4. All right, and then looking at the inequality sign, it is less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. And then let's think about where we're going to shading. But first, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go draw in my solid horizontal line. All right, so now think about it's less than or equal to 4. So I want all the y values that are less than or equal to 4. So I'm going to shade below because below means that that's where all my y values are less than 4. Anything above 4, that will be greater than. So I'm shading below. All right, there's my shading. Let's look at the next one. The next one is just y equals, or in this case, y is greater than 1. This is also a Hoy. So it's going to be a horizontal line at y equals 1. And in this case, it's going to be dashed. And since it's greater than, I want all y values greater than 1. So I'm going to shade above. So go to y equals 1. Draw in your dashed horizontal line. And then let's go ahead and shade above. Shade above, shade above. All right, and then for number 3, for our last one. All right, now it's just x equals a number, or x is greater than or equal to -3. So x is a Vux situation. So I will have a vertical line at x equals -3. So on my x-axis, I'm going to go to -3. Since it's greater than or equal to, it'll be a solid line. So I'm going to draw in a solid vertical line, x equals -3. All right, and now I want all x values greater than or equal to -3. The x values that are greater than, I'm going to shade to the right because that's where my x values are getting bigger. So there's my shading. Keep going, keep shading the whole thing. And then the area where all of my shadings overlap is going to be this region right here, this darker black region that I am drawing in right now. All right, so here it is. So all of these in here, this is where all of my solutions lie that work in all 3 of my inequalities. All right, do the same thing for number 2. For number 2, I've got equation 1, I've got equation 2. They are both special cases because they both just have x's. So the first one is going to be a Vux where x equals 3, right? It's going to be a dashed line since it is a less than sign. All right, so I'm going to go to x equals 3, and I'm going to draw in my dashed vertical line. Now I want all x values less than 3, so I'm going to shade to the left because that's where all my x values are that are less than 3. Shade, 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 shade. It's okay if you color outside the lines like Miss Warren. All right, do the same thing for the next one. Also a Vux, and this time it's going to be where x equals -2. It will also be dashed since I just have a greater than sign. There's no line underneath my inequality. So go to x equals -2, draw in your dashed vertical line. And I want all values greater than -2. So in this case, greater than, I'm going to shade to the right. Shade to the right. All right, so my solution where my shadings meet is going to be this middle rectangle area right here. So all of these inequalities inside, let's try that again. All of my ordered pairs, inside of this region will work in both of my inequalities. So shade, 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 make sure that that region is darker. and all the rest. All right, for number 3, I've got equation 1 or inequality 1 and inequality 2. Now, the first thing I got to do is I've got to solve for x, right? So I'm going to take this, x plus y is greater than 3. I'm going to box my y because that's what I'm trying to solve for. And this one's really nice because the only thing I got to do here is I've got to subtract x over. So I get y is greater than negative x plus 3. All right, so my slope here, that number in front of x, that's a ninja, but it's a -1. So I'm going to be going down 1, right 1 each time. And my y-intercept is at 3. Look at my inequality sign. I do not see a line underneath it, so this will be a dashed line. And since it's greater than, I should be shading above. All right, so go up to 3. Now let's go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1 each time. You can also go back to your y-intercept, go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. Draw in your dashed line through your points. And then let's shade that thing above. Shade up everywhere above that line. All right. Do the same thing for number 2. For number 2, I'm going to box y. Again, this makes life pretty easy because all I've got to do is I've got to subtract 4x from both sides. So I get y is less than negative 4x plus 4. So in this case, my slope is -4. So I'm going to go down 4, right 1 every time. My y-intercept is at 4. Looking at my inequality sign, it's less than, so it'll be dashed, and I shade below. So start at 4. I am going down 4, right 1, down 4, right 1, down 4, right 1. You can also go back up to 4, go up 4, left 1. And then that is kind of a steep line, right? So I'm going to draw in my dashed lines through these points. And what did I say? I said I am shading below. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to shade everywhere below my line. And again, guys, the whole point of solving for these inequalities is I'm trying to find where my shadings overlap. So for me, my shadings overlap in this little weird triangle area right here. It's where my shadings overlap. All right, next page. Let's do the exact same thing for number 4. All right. Looking right here, I've got x minus 4 is less than or equal to -2. Now, this case is kind of weird because all I have is an x, but since that's my only variable, let's get it by itself. So I've just got to add that 4 to both sides. I get x is less than or equal to, what's -2 plus 4? -2 plus 4 should give me a 2. All right, so this is a special case. Again, I just have x, so this is a box. I'm going to have a vertical line at x equals 2. I have that line underneath, so it should be solid. So go to where x equals 2. Draw in your solid vertical line. And then I want all x values less than 2. So I'm going to shade to the left because that's where all my x values get smaller. All right, so there I have it. And now looking at number 2, I'm going to box y, and let's get that x over. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I just get y is greater than or equal to -x, because that 0 doesn't really do anything, right? So looking at my slope, that number in front of x is a -1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1 each time. All right, and then I do not have a number being added or subtracted out back, so my y-intercept is just going to be 0 at that origin, 0, 0. It's greater than or equal to, so I will have a solid line, and since it's greater than, I will shade above. So start at the origin, start at 0, 0, and I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Sorry, down 1, Yeah, that's right. Down one, right one, down one, right one, down one, right one each time. Can also go back up, go up one, left one, up one, left one. So on and so forth. All right, draw in your solid line through those points. And let's shade above, and then let's find the region where my shadings intersect, where they overlap, if you will. This one's pretty easy to find. I see that my shadings lie on top of each other, and this also kind of like a triangle looking thing right here. So all of these ordered pairs in here will work in both of my inequalities. Keep shading, keep shading. There's my solution. All right, number 5. I'm going to graph. It says to graph 6x plus 2y is greater than negative 14. I'm going to box the 2y because I've got to get that by itself. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. So I've got 2y is greater than negative 6x minus 14. And then to get the y by itself, I got to divide everything by 2. So I get y is greater than negative 6 divided by 2 should get you a negative 3. So that's negative 3x. And then negative 14 divided by 2 should get you minus 7. So my slope is negative 3. I'm going to go down 3, right 1 each time. My y-intercept is negative 7. My inequality sign is greater than, so I should have a dashed line, and I should shade above. All right, starting at negative 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 7. Go down 3, right 1. Okay, that's going to be off of our graph. So now let's go up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1. So on and so forth. Draw in your dashed line through your points. And then shade above. Everywhere above that line, all of these points in here in the shaded area will be a solution to my inequality. All right, do the same thing for number 6. Let's box that 5y. And I'm going to subtract the x from both sides. So I get 5y is less than negative x plus 25. And then my last step is to divide both sides by 5. So I get y is less than, I have a negative x divided by 5. Again, in front of that x is a 1, negative 1 divided by 5. So that's negative 1 over 5x plus 5, because 5 is 25 divided by 5. My slope is negative 1 over 5. So I'm going to go down 1, right 5 each time. My y-intercept is going to be at 5. My inequality sign is less than, so it's going to be dashed, and I will shade below. So start at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go down 1, right 5. Down 1, right 5. Start back up at the top. Go up 1, left 5. Up 1, left 5. Dashed line. Kind of a really wide line. And then let's go ahead and shade everywhere below. So again, that tells me that all of these ordered pairs in this shaded area will be a solution to my inequality. Well done. All right, next page, let's do it again. It's a system. All right, so for this first one, I've got 4x minus 3y is less than or equal to negative 9. I'm going to box my minus 3y, and I'm going to subtract 4x over. So I get negative 3y is less than or equal to negative 4x minus 9. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Now I have to be careful, because what do I have to make sure to do whenever I multiply or divide by a negative? I have to flip my inequality. So now it's going to be y, flipping my inequality to be a greater than or equal to. It's going to be a positive 4 over 3x, and then a plus 3. So my slope is 4 over 3. So I'm going to go up 4, right 3. My y-intercept is at 3. I have greater than or equal to, so I should have a solid line and I should shade above. So go up to 3, go up 4, right 3. Up 4, it's going to be off my graph, so go back down. Go down 4, left 3. 3, 4. Down 4, left 3. Let's walk down 4, left 3. No, I guess I was right. All right, drawing your solid line. Best you can. And then shade everywhere above that line for me. Shade above. All right. Now, the next one is really nice because they've already got it solved for y for us. So my slope is just at 2. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1. And my y-intercept is at 3. It is a less than sign, so it's going to be dashed. And I'm going to shade below. So start at 3. Now I am going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Now I can go down to left 1, dashed line. And I'm going to shade below, everywhere below my line. So there's below. So again, guys, I'm trying to find where my two shadings overlap. It's going to be really tiny, but it is this area right here, kind of in the middle of my curves or in the middle of my lines. Very, very tiny, but there it is. Number 8, graph x plus 3 is less than 1. Again, there's just an x, that's my only variable. So let's solve. I see plus 3, do the opposite, so subtract 3 from both sides. So I get x is less than -4, -1 minus 3. So it's going to be a vux, it's going to be a vertical line at x equals -4. It is just less than, so it's going to be dashed, and then we'll figure out where to shade, all right? So go over to x equals -4 and draw in your dashed vertical line at that point. Now, I want all x's less than -4. Again, less than is pretty easy because it's going to be to the left. That's where all of my x's are getting smaller. So I'm shading in the direction where my x's are getting smaller. Kind of the same idea for 9. For 9, y is my only variable. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So I get y is less than or equal to 6. This is my Hoy situation since I just have the y variable. So I'm going to have a horizontal line at y equals 6. Less than or equal to, it's going to be solid. And I'm going to shade below because that's where all my y values will be less than 6. So go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw in your solid horizontal line. And shade everywhere below. Again, guys, below, that's where all my y values will be less than 6. Keep shading, boom. Make sure you're able to identify those special cases of a vux and a Hoy, okay? All right, this says, if x4 is a solution to the equation 3x plus 2y equals 20, what is the value of x? All right, so again, guys, whenever they give you a point, usually this is the point x comma y. Now, they already tell me that y equals 4, but they don't tell me what x is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm going to take this value that they give me for y, and I'm going to plug it into my equation. Let's see what happens. So 3x, I don't have x yet, but I know that y is 4. So that's going to be plus 2 times now 4, and that equals 20. All right. So here I get 3x plus 2 times 4 should give me 8. And that equals 20. So this just looks like a classic don't call me after midnight equation, right? I'm going to box my 3x. That's what I'm trying to solve for. Let's subtract that 8 over. 20 minus 8, I'm going to have my 3x left over here. 20 minus 8 should give me 12. And then dividing both sides by 3 to get that x by itself. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. So x equals 4. Fabulous. Same idea for number 11. If the point 5 comma y is a solution to the equation 2x minus 4y equals 30, what is the value of y? Again, guys, my point is x comma y. They tell me that x equals 5. I'm going to plug in 5 for x, and I'm going to use my don't call me after midnight rules to solve for y. So this is going to be 2 times x, which is now we know 5, minus 4y equals 30. 2 times 5 gives me 10. And then I solve my minus 4y equals 30. I'm trying to solve for my minus 4y. So let's get rid of that 10. I see a positive 10, so I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So that's negative 4y equals 30 minus 10 is 20. And then to get that y by itself, let's divide both sides by negative 4. And 20 divided by negative 4 should give you y equals negative 5. All right, number 12. Identify the key features of the graph. So guys, this is kind of a review, right? X-intercept is where I cross the x-axis. So I look here, negative 1, the point negative 2, 0. And if you remember, if I already have the x-intercept, I also already have the 0. It is just the x value of my x-intercept. So that's negative 2. My y-intercept, look up 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be the point 0, comma 3. M is my slope. So to find the slope, I'm going to do rise over run using my x and y intercepts. I count up 1, 2, 3. I went up 3 and right 2. So up 3, right 2 is my slope, 3 over 2. So now I'm writing my equation, y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. I get y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. 13 and 14 are very tricky. Sorry, not very tricky, very easy. Sorry. What is the slope of a vertical line? Remember, a vertical line is my Vux situation. Remember, the middle letter tells me the slope. That middle letter is undefined. What is the slope of a horizontal line? A horizontal line is a hoi. Again, that middle letter tells you the slope. Now, in this case, it's not really a letter, but it's actually telling you what the slope is because the slope is 0. Not tricky at all, right? Very easy. All right. Graphing the inequality again. Now, this time it's a little bit more involved because this time I'm still trying to solve for y, but let's look over here. Looking at my don't call me after midnight rules, don't call me after midnight. The first thing I got to do is I got to distribute. I've got to put that 2 into both x and plus 2. So I get y minus 3 is less than 2x plus 4. And now let's get y by itself and let's add that 3 over. So I get y is less than 2x plus 7. So my slope is 2, go up 2, right 1. My y-intercept is 7. I've got less than, so I'm going to have a dashed line, and I'm going to shade below. So go up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go up 2, right 1. Start back, go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. So on and so forth. Draw in your dashed line. And go ahead and shade below. Shade, 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 shade. And there we are. All right, number 16. What is the y-intercept of 3x minus 2y equals 8? All right, now this one is really easy because remember, whenever we were first doing this, finding y-intercepts, again, a y-intercept is where 0 is x and I have some number for y. So if I plug in 0 for x, x goes away and I'm just left with negative 2y equals 8. So I'm just going to divide both sides by negative 2. And I get y equals negative 4. So my y-intercept is at 0, negative 4. That's nice and easy, isn't it? But then whenever they ask for the slope is a little more tricky. Because in this case, it's really easy to find the slope whenever I have it in y equals mx plus b. So let's start by actually solving for y here, okay? So I get 4x plus 2y equals negative 10. I'm going to box my 2y, that's what I'm trying to get by itself. So let's subtract that 4x over. 2y equals negative 4x minus 10. And divide both sides by 2. So I get y equals negative 2x minus 5. But the question is, what is the slope? My slope is that number in front of x, which is negative 2. Number 18 says determine the rate of change. Again, rate of change is a fancy word for slope. So I've got to find my rise over my run. Remember, guys, whenever you do rise over run, you read it from left to right like you read a book. So I'm going to use these 2 points here, this guy and this guy. Now, in this case, going from left to right, I'm actually going to have to start by going down. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go down 5 and I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down 5 and right 4. Whenever you go down, that tells me it's going to be a negative 5 over 4. So that gives me the answer C. All right, this number 19 says, use the grid to graph y is less than x plus 4. Which coordinate point represents a solution of this inequality? So let's start by graphing. This is really nice because it's already in my slope-intercept form. So my slope is that number in front of x, which is 1. So I'm going to go up 1, right 1 each time. And my y-intercept is at 4. It's less than, so I'm going to have a dashed line, and I'm going to shade below. So go up to 4. Go up 1, right 1 each time, down 1, left 1 in the other direction, and draw in your dashed line through your points. And let's shade everywhere below. Shade all this guy, shade this area. Now, it's asking me which one of these is a solution. Guys, remember, solutions are going to be everywhere inside of my shaded area. So I've got to determine which one of these points is inside of my shaded area. Let's look first at negative 8, 2. Go over negative 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down 2. That is not in my shaded area, so she goes away. 2, 0 over 2. That looks good. Negative 2, 2. Okay, that one's on the line. But here's the thing. With a dashed line, if it is on the line, it is not a solution. So that does not work for a dashed line, not a dashed line. Then let's do 0, 6. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, not in there. So my answer's got to be B. All right, number 20 says, write the equation and graph the linear function that includes the points 2, negative 6, and negative 1, 3. This is a classic stat edit problem. They gave me 2 points, both of which I'm going to put in stat edit. In L1, I'm going to put my x values, which are 2 and negative 1. In L2, I'm going to put negative 6 and 3. So in your calculator, do stat edit. Type in 2 and type in negative 1. In L2, type in -6 and 3. Then press stat, over to calc, down to number 4. Enter, 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 enter. And I get the equation y equals -3x plus 0. So my slope is -3. I'm going to go down 3, right 1 each time. And I'm starting at my y-intercept of 0 at the origin. Start at 0, 0. And I'm going to go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. Go back up to 0, 0. Now go up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1, and draw in your line. And guys, this is just a line. This is not an inequality. So I am just graphing like normal. Number 21, solve and graph the inequality. So again, let's solve for y first. I'm boxing -3y. Subtract 4x from both sides. -3y is less than or equal to -4x minus 12. Then divide both sides by -3. Again, what do you do whenever you divide by a negative? I am going to flip my inequality sign. So I get y is greater than or equal to +4/3x plus 4. So my slope is 4/3. I'm going to go up 4, right 3. And my y-intercept is at 4. It's greater than or equal to, so it should be a solid line since there's that line underneath my inequality. And I should shade above. Start up at 4. Go up 4, right 3. Can't really do much more. So start back at 4. Go down 4, left 3. Down 4, left 3. Down 4, left 3. Draw in your solid line through those points as best as you can. And then let's shade everywhere above. So remember, guys, the shaded area represents points that are in my solution. All right. Number 22 says, which inequality is represented by this graph? Okay, so first thing I think we should do, let's identify our y-intercept. Looks like my y-intercept is at +2, so that's good. All right. Now, with inequalities, I can also find out, where it's shaded. That's going to help me find my inequality. And what kind of sign it is, if it is dashed, or solid. Here it's dashed, so it's just going to be either a greater than or a less than sign, or less than or greater than. So I wrote that backwards. Okay, and it looks like all of my inequalities have that, so that's good. But I'm also shaded above. Shaded above is going to be a greater than sign. So I'm going to mark out A, and I'm going to mark out C, because those are just wrong since those are less than signs. All right, now let's figure out what my slope is. All right, so I'm going to use my y-intercept and I'm going to use my x-intercept. And let's do our rise over run. All right, now again, I have to read from left to right. So it looks like I have to go down 2 and then over 1, 2, 3. So I went down 2 and right 3. So that's going to be -2/3, which is answer choice B. Good test taking strategies there. Same idea here. Which inequality is represented by this graph? Okay, again, think about where it's shaded and what kind of a line we use. This is a solid line. So solid line should either be less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So I'm going to automatically eliminate A, and I'm going to eliminate D. And I have shaded, here I've shaded below. So this should be less than or equal to, which is answer choice C. Again, guys, really good, really easy test taking strategies. All right, number 24 says, which of the following relations is a function? Guys, remember, this is a very good review. A function has no repeating x values. So I've got to find the guy that's got no repeating x values. Number one, I've got 3. I've got 4, but I have a 3 again, so 1 will not work. So I can eliminate A. I can eliminate C because those both include 1. All right, number 2, I've got 3, which is good, 4, which is good, and 5, which is good. So number 2 is a good one. I like number 2. All right, look at number 3. Number 3 has 3, but then it also has 3 again. So 3 also cannot work. So that means that answer choice D cannot work, which means B is my only answer because I've got 3, 4, and 5. Those are all different x values. Last page, guys, we're almost done. Graph the inequality. Here we go. Let's get y by itself, but thinking about don't call me after midnight. Let's distribute first. Distribute in that -3. So y minus 6 is greater than -3x minus 6, because that's -3 times 2. And then to get y by itself, I'm going to add 6 over. Now this is nice because -6 and a +6 will cancel out, and I just have y is greater than -3x. So my slope is -3, so I'm going to go down 3, right 1 each time. And my y-intercept, since I have nothing added or subtracted at the end, it'll just be at 0. Greater than will be a dashed line that is shaded above. So starting at 0, 0, go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. Go back up to 0, 0, go up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1. Draw in your dashed line. And shade above. "26 is the exact same. Don't call me after midnight. We've got to distribute. Distribute in that 4. Y plus 2 is less than or equal to 4x plus 4. And then to get y by itself, I am going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get y is less than or equal to 4x again. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be 4, a 4 right there. Sorry, y'all. 4x plus 4. So 4x, and then 4 minus 2 gives me a plus 2. So my slope is 4. I'm going to go up 4, right 1 each time. And then my y-intercept is going to be at 2. Less than or equal to, so this will be a solid line that is shaded below. Start up at 2, go up 4, right 1, up 4, right 1. Go back to 2, go down 4, left 1, down 4. Draw in your solid line through your points. Best you can. And shade everywhere below that line. You guys are going to be really good at graphing inequalities by the end of this. All right, guys, our last one. All right, 27, or 27 through 30. We're going to match each of the inequalities to the graph that we are given here. Okay, again, guys, with inequalities, let's pay attention to what kind of line it is and to the inequality sign so that we can figure out where it is shaded, all right? So the first thing, F to me, it's got a y-intercept at 1, 2, 3. It is solid and it's shaded above. So I need a greater than or equal to, and I need a +3 at the end. All right. So here it can't be 27. And all right, everything else looks good. All right. So now let's figure out the slope. For my slope, I'm going to erase this 3 right here. I go up 1. And I go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 1 over 4, that's 1 over 4, which in this case, they give it to me as decimals, which is the decimal 0.25. So I need 0.25 and a +3, which looks like number 28 to me. So 28 is F. All right, so F looks good. Now, G is nice because G is the only one that has a y-intercept of 1. The only other answer choice that has a y-intercept of 1 is number 27. So number 27 is going to be G. All right. Let's look at H. H first. So it looks like it's shaded above and it's a solid line, so it needs to be greater than or equal to. Let's look at the slope though. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. So up 4 over 1 is a slope of 4. So H is going to go with 30 because that's my slope of 4. And so that tells me that J has to be 29. All right, that's the end of our video. If you have any questions, please let us know.
And now, Arana, please come to attendance.